Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's one way in which I understand why someone might raise the issue of consolidation, because demographic challenges are real, particularly in rural areas like mine, where our population is aging faster than the rest of the state. But to act like it's only ever going to go in one direction and we have to plan for inevitable decline flies in the face of what we've seen just over the last few years, where actually post-COVID we are seeing rural areas grow again. What happens when we've abandoned them? Nevertheless, there have been pockets, of course, where population has been declining. But consolidation as a solution to the problem is catastrophic for these regions. You don't fix population loss first by closing community schools, especially when you haven't actually tried to genuinely, truly support them. And before you say that we can't keep throwing money at the problem, good news, that's not what we've been doing. Instead, we've been defunding these schools. And it's very cynical that when we finally see an education bill that has money attached, it's to pursue consolidation. Instead, we have forced them to decide that if they're going to to stay open, they have to raise their own taxes. You said it's a structural problem. It's true, it's a structural problem of the budget and choices we've been making in the budget. Let's be honest about where we're putting our money. We now divert over $1 billion per year on unaccountable voucher schools while telling people that we can't afford public schools. I will tell you that nothing makes my constituents angrier than when they learn about the voucher scam. And I have to actually typically be the one to teach them this because it's very telling that the majority party never debates vouchers in public, ever. Instead, they sneak things into the budget where they can avoid transparency and accountability. It is stunning that the majority party does not see their hostility toward public education as a political failure. This is why I have people outside of my district, in other people's districts, including public school employees who call me and ask me to come to town halls to talk about this issue because they say their Republican representatives never call them back when the topic is public schools. How did supporting public schools, which we should realize means supporting communities, become a partisan issue? I want to be clear, as a sociologist, I pay close attention to demographics. And I understand that if we do everything we can to support rural communities, including economic development and healthcare reform and funding public schools adequately, which, by the way, is economic development, and we still can't stem the tide of the population loss, then yes, we should revisit this topic. But until then, we owe it to our rural communities to do everything possible to help them stay alive. Because schools aren't just dollars on a spreadsheet. Every dollar represents an investment in rural kids, jobs for teachers and coaches, and the payoff of the taxes we all pay to build a livable future. Schools are the economic, social, and political engines of communities, and I'm talking here about public schools. Research shows that when you close rural schools, you set communities on a death spiral. Property values drop, jobs are lost, and investments dry up. One of my former colleagues studied this issue. In his research, he interviewed someone who lived through a school closure who said, "The school is the heart of the community, and when you tear the heart out, the community dies." Who will move there? Who will build a life there if they have to put their 5-year-old on a 1-hour bus ride each way to school? We have to do everything we can to try to save rural schools. And if you're not going to do that, you owe it to the people who live there to tell them that you're giving up on them. This matters because there are still lots of people like me who want to live in rural and remote areas because we love living in small towns. And the lifestyle of living among the forests and gardening and fishing and hunting in our backyards and staring up at truly dark skies is the point of life. It's what we live for. We want to raise our kids in these places where kids, for fun, hang out by fires on the beach and go paddling or hunting with their friends on the weekend, and who don't want to be stuck with an online voucher school as their only option. They want to go to school with their friends and play football and tennis and be in the band. Rural people deserve these basic opportunities. You can't claim to be the party that represents rural communities and then play a central role in their demise. I understand the impulse to wonder if we might need to close schools one day, but that has to be the last possible option. First, you have to fight to keep them open. You have to truly give them a real chance. Today's bills are an admission of failure, that after 15 years, it's time to try something new. It's time to try actually supporting our public schools and our rural communities. It's what they, our teachers, and our kids deserve. The vote on all of these bills is red.